Hey folks, look at what we made using our epoxy. We couldn't be happier with the depth and the colors that we chose for this project. We randomly poured out 4 of our colors and used a simple sponge technique to create these dramatic results. You can utilize these same techniques to refinish and renew old laminate countertops, worn surfaces, or make brand new ones. If you can finger paint, you can make an amazing epoxy surface. Check this out. Our epoxy is zero VOC, eco-friendly, heat and scratch resistant. Stay tuned and enjoy the video. Hey guys, Mike here with StoneCoatCountertops.com. We have a really cool video planned for you, and I gotta be honest, I'm very excited about this. I've wanted to show this color for a while. In the description below, we've included a free downloadable PDF with all these written instructions of this exact color. Check it out. We've actually done this very similar color at an art class that we did. And we did a white, a black, both in base tints, and then we just simply put ocean blue, and we're using our sponge melded marble technique. And these colors in front of that class, the class actually chose the colors, and they came out so good, I couldn't wait to do this in a full-scale countertop size piece. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this MDF. This MDF has been painted with 2 coats of paint and primer in one. We simply roll it on, sand it with 220, roll on a second coat, and now we're going to sand that coat, and we're ready to get started. We're using a couple of different colors in this piece as opposed to that one we did for the art class. Let me show you what we're going to do. First, we're going to tint all of our clear epoxy with some black, some silver platinum, and also some white base tint. We're going to do those. We're also going to tint a little bit of ocean blue and a little bit of blue earth. We're going to do those all in clear cups. So we're going to mix our clear. We'll separate these all in these clear cups. And guess what? We'll have an arsenal of color to pour out on this countertop. And then it's as simple as using a sponge to drag it around. And one thing you're going to notice when I do drag that with a sponge, I'm not going to push everything down really tight. I'm going to almost let that sponge hover and float and skip across the piece. And this is where you get those really cool techniques. We're going to show you up close. We're going to get started, but best of all, we're going to have fun. We got this. Let's do it. When mixing your materials, simply mix at a 1-to-1 ratio for 2 minutes using a drill. Make sure you use that drill to scrape the bottom and sides of your bucket. And when you're sanding your substrate, simply sand with 220 grit, sand the surface as well as those edges. Be sure not to burn through those edges and use that paper towel to wipe off the excess dust. We're using 5 clear cups because we're going to mix 5 different colors. It doesn't matter if they're perfectly equal amounts, we're just getting them close, and then we'll start adding our base color tints as well as our metallics. Here's our deep silver. We're going to add black. We're also going to add our white base color tint. Next step is to mix our metallic colors. We're using blue earth and ocean blue. We really love these colors. They come out extremely vibrant. Mix each of those colors thoroughly to get great consistency. What we're going to do now is we're going to use all those colors that we just mixed up. The reason that we used a paint stick is because these cups are too small for my drill to actually get in there, but just using clear regular cups is a great idea that you don't have to buy the mixing containers. They're more expensive, so we just use some clear cups. We mixed it up with the paint stick. Make sure you mix it nice and thorough. What we're going to do now is we're going to pour these out and keep them segregated. We'll keep the colors not totally in each other, and then when we trowel this out with our sponge, that's where the magic happens. Let's get started. Come on up close and check this out. I'm not pouring every color where I'm pouring it completely out. I'm doing some, and then I'll come back and I'll have more places to fill in, just so I don't waste all the color in one spot. I'll just kind of segregate them out that way. The whole key with this technique is you're going to need to get epoxy on the entire surface. Now, you got to keep in mind when you're mixing, we're not doing this with the trowel, we're not doing our brush technique, so you only get one shot to mix it correctly. You're only using that drill, so do a good job. Mix it thoroughly with that drill because we're not troweling, we're not chopping, so we don't have those extra mixing steps involved. It's so simple. This technique is so simple. it takes any guesswork out of the equation. This is just a good time. So I'm not really, you know, I'm just looking for spots that I want to add colors all over. Oh, here comes that blue earth. I'm excited about putting those 2 different shades of blue in here too. We got some brand new metallic colors on their way. So we might have some new favorite colors very soon. You're really gonna like these colors that we're incorporating. Everything that we're incorporating has been tested and designed to make these kind of projects really stand out. Color is important to get right. Oh yeah, where they're already integrating, it looks cool. So now I am getting some color going across these, which is okay. I have them segregated quite well. Oh, I love this. This is so fun. Let's put some of that silver down here. And I'm just starting to fill in bald spots now that are gonna need epoxy. You're gonna need to cover this entire piece with epoxy. So now we're just pouring it out. Look at what this is doing already. All right, guys, here we go. It's time to use the skip trowel sponge technique. We're simply just gonna put light pressure and start to move these. I'm not gonna do circles. I'm not gonna do a repeated pattern. You can do that. You can play with that technique, but I want random. Another good idea is really to prime this. Prime it with a little bit of epoxy, and then it won't suck up a bunch off your surface. So I'm just gonna kind of wet that leading edge, and that's what I'm gonna trowel with, and I'll pour the rest of this back on my surface here. You know, I have a little bit of clear left. I think I'm going to pour some of that on this too and just see what that does. Why not? And I'm just going different directions, and all I'm trying to do here is just get the whole thing wet. It'll look like you're kind of smearing it around, but because of the nature of these different additives, they're gonna fight each other and they're not gonna wanna mix. And that's really one of the secrets to why this technique looks so good. I'm going different directions. I'm layering the epoxy, and this epoxy is extremely self-leveling. And so because I'm putting bumpy areas and high and low points, it's still gonna find its level. We're definitely early on the working time where we won't be stressed about it. Oh my gosh, this is cool. Wow. The more that I do this particular technique, the more it becomes my favorite one. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just gonna sponge those edges too. Get epoxy on those edges, and then everything will run over nice and smooth for me. Wow. So I'm just changing the direction of that sponge. I'm not going in one single direction. I'm just pulling it around randomly and skipping over it, and it's just coming out really cool, guys. I used about 4 ounces per square foot as opposed to our normal 3 ounces per square foot, because I knew I wanted a lot of color, and I knew in each of these you're leaving a little bit in these buckets, so I knew I was going to have a little bit more waste than normal, but that's what we did here. Oh, yeah, this is just wild. I'm going through here, and anywhere that there's surface tension or little voids, I'm just touching it with the sponge. Oh my gosh, this is... If you're stressed out before you do this project, it's going to melt away. This is like the coolest project ever. Wow, look at that. I almost don't want to hit that with the sponge, but I'm going to anyways. All I'm doing right now is just trying to get epoxy on the whole piece. I'm going to sponge out those edges. Holy cow, that's super cool. As our Stone Coat countertop epoxy continues to level, it's really coming to life. You can see how it's generating these effects all on its own just by the reactions from our different additives. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go through and look for any voids, because sometimes when you're troweling that sponge, you got some voids left over. So I'm just going to go start hitting those, and then I'm going to torch this out. So all I'm doing here is just using my finger, looking for any spots that don't have any epoxy in them, and I'm just going to move some epoxy with my finger just like that. Now there's a couple of things I could do at this point. I'm going to torch it to get all the bubbles out of the epoxy, but if I was doing a big art piece or just a countertop that I was doing off-site and going to install later, I could tilt this board and really get everything to move, and that looks really cool. But let's pretend that we're doing this on-site and in place. We wouldn't be able to lift this up, tilt it around and move it. So we're just going to leave it steady and use our torch to create very similar effects, but it's going to give this a really beautiful look. And I got to tell you, looking at this just like it is right now, you saw how easy that was. This is outstanding. This looks like exotic stone. I am thrilled. I'm excited. I don't know if you can tell. The torch is fulfilling two principles. We're simply popping the bubbles as well as moving color. Anytime the color doesn't look good or realistic to you, heat it up a little bit and you'll watch it move and meld. You can also assist it a little bit with your finger and have some fun. Honestly, the more colors in the same family, the better for this kind of technique. Be sure to rub all those edges out to remove any drips. Long horizontal strokes are best. Torch it out 3 times. Guys, I absolutely love this technique. I love these colors. I love this piece. This thing is awesome. And I'm going to give you a few pro tips right now. When you're doing this technique, it's really a good idea to integrate base color tints and metallics. Not all base colors and not all metallics. And what's going to happen is you're going to get reactions with one another. That's what I'm looking for, is these automatically fight each other to create these effects without a bunch of effort on my part. That's what we're looking for. Repeatability, ease of operation to get consistent results. You can literally take any color palette from your space. If you had browns and earth tones, just implement those and substitute those colors for what we used in this video, and you're going to get the same dramatic results. We really had a good time filming this. I love what we do here. This is an amazing project. I would love to do this in any space, any surface. If you have an existing countertop, a hearth, you got tabletops. Heck, you can go to Goodwill, buy an old desk, put a new top on it, and you got a high-end piece of furniture. This looks, honestly, like exotic marble. Okay, guys, question of the day. What colors do you want to see next in our melded marble technique? Just tell us 2 base colors, 2 metallics, and we're going to get it done for you right away. Visit stonecoatcountertops.com anytime to see all these products used in this project. All right, guys, time for our big announcement. A couple weeks ago, we made this painting. We did our second coat on it. It's clear, it's dry, it's ready to ship out. And we said, comment below, and we'll send this painting to somebody who wants it. And you know what? We look through all of our comments every day. We really appreciate all the comments in our comments section. That gives us great feedback. We also choose what videos we're going to do next. We also improve as a company. Thank you guys so much for all your feedback, and keep those comments coming. That helps us out a lot, and give us a thumbs up. It helps us get higher in the queue. Hey, you know who we chose? We chose Rusty Maverick. If that's your real name, man, that's a way cool name. But let me read you what he wrote. He says, I love your painting, and if I become the proud owner of it, I will hang it in my newborn daughter's room. It doesn't get cooler than that. Rusty, this is coming your way, and I want a picture of that hanging in her room, or else I'm coming back for it. Woo! Mitch, thank you so much for filming this. Yeah. Showing people about this technique. Guys, in the comments below, show Mitch some love. He's the one behind the cameras and really hustling to try to get these shots. Can you believe this piece, man?
This was a fun one to film.
Hey, We're going to call this our blue and black melded marble technique. Blue and black melded marble technique. Cool. And until next time, from Stone Coat Countertops, you got this. We'll see you soon. Remember, when you subscribe to our channel, click on the red subscribe button and be sure to ring the bell so you get notified every time we have a new video. Thanks again.